Here we go. I think we're recording already. I didn't
We're
even get to
already
choose.
recording. You didn't
Here
even
we
need to say.
go.
It's so fun.
No.
It's almost
Funny.
like it didn't even happen. I like that. All right.
The Zoom thing, they're changing things so much on me. So I didn't get to choose the cloud or anything. Anyway, so here we go.
Oh, should I even do an introduction at this point? Because, like, who cares? It's funny. I listen to our podcast. I listen to other podcasts from time to time. And,
Yes.
like, we have an intro and then we do an intro. And that doesn't make a crap load of sense. And I wonder sometimes why we do that. And every now and again, we actually have an intro and then we do an intro. And then after we record the show, we do an intro about the show. So then we have like three separate intros. What is with us? Have
You
we,
know,
why have we
well,
not figured that out?
the music intro is not the same thing
I'm with you. It
as
doesn't
an
introduce the
intro,
topic, right?
the
It's,
topic. And sometimes we forget to do our little, to be honest.
it's, well, sometimes we are running from like, oh my God, I have to go, right?
Yeah.
Because that's true.
Sometimes talk too long. Yeah. So if you guys know us by now, we sometimes talk too long. Yeah.
Some,
Get off task.
yippee yippee. Yeah, sometimes we schedule this for 10:30 and then we start recording at 10:49. I'm not
Exactly.
saying exactly when that's happening, but it may happen
Uh,
right now as we speak. Um,
exactly.
so Janet E. Johnson, because I don't want to get too far from too many traditions at once, uh, entertainment. So that's what
Ooh.
I think the E is going to stand for today is entertainment because I'm wearing my TED hat and the E TED stands
Oh,
for entertainment.
it does. Okay. Got it.
Now you know. In case anybody
Well,
ever wondered, like TED's an acronym, it stands for stuff, and the E is entertainment.
entertainment.
The
Good to know.
T
That's
is
good.
Terry. That's not true.
It is not
That's not
Ted.
true.
It's probably not even Ted. It's probably
It's
something
not.
different, isn't it?
It is something different. It's
Well, now we got to
technology.
know.
It's
Okay.
technology.
Got it.
It is. It is.
Technology, entertainment, and what's the D? Might as well say that
We
too.
might as well finish it. It's design, right? And the
Okay.
idea being that those are the three areas of tremendous innovation,
Got it.
right? Where innovation stems from. So build a conference around things that are innovative. That's one to grow on right there.
That is.
So
Well, back to the entertainment. Today is not going to be an entertaining topic.
it's entertaining for me because you got banned from Facebook. Not even just
Uh,
you, though, right? So, not like your profile, which people get banned. Hell, I've been banned, but they took your business manager account. Like, they're like, hey, Janet E. Johnson, how do you make money? Oh, you use a business manager account? We're going to suck that away from you. I want to hear about that. I guess maybe it's not that entertaining now that
it's
we're saying it
actually,
like
yeah, it's,
that. No, it
well, it
just sucks.
was a lot of work, is what it took me hours upon hours to figure it out, battle Facebook with it, not win the battle, and then I had to move every client to another account. But that's about your profile being disabled from running ads in Ads Manager. Why it happens, why mine happened, no clue. And they wouldn't even give me answers on it. So
You legitimately like you couldn't even hazard a guess as to why it
nope,
happened. Like
nope,
you couldn't say,
no
"Well, I
idea.
did this or that or this other thing," and you got nothing.
Nothing. And they wouldn't respond with an answer even. I've heard I belong to, so because I do Facebook and Instagram advertising, like that's basically what I do most of the time now for my business. I belong to a group called Ad Leaks Platinum. It's where some of the top level ads people are. I mean, it's crazy. And there's lots of conversations that go on in that Facebook group. So I am by far not the only one that this has happened to. This is a pretty commonplace thing. And that's why I think it's an important topic to talk about, because it could happen to anyone at any time. And you will, even when least expected, you have no idea. They
I
went
wonder
through,
how many Ernie in the Ernie land are actually have an ad manager account for their Facebook. Like I have one. I don't use it. I'm like I'd say often, but that doesn't even like I use it so infrequently. I barely know how to get into it. right? But I wonder if
That's,
how true that is for others in similar
I would say
spaces.
it's probably 50-50. If they're running ads, they hopefully are in ads manager of some sort. Um, I don't know what the population is right now. I think it's something like 60% of business pages are running ads.
60%. Okay.
Something like that. Yeah. So, and how many actually go into their ads manager? Even if they don't go in there, the account could get banned. It exists, you know. So why does it happen is the question. There's people need to know the rules. That is there are so many Facebook rule policies, and like, so in my ads ROI Academy, we spend time going through those policies so that everybody knows the policies. We can put a link in our show notes to the policies so that you know, but some of the policies are regarding, you can't, you can't point at somebody and say, you are fat, for instance. I mean, you are this, or, even insinuating it, you cannot do at
They
all.
may or may not be fat.
Yeah, exactly.
It's
You're,
entirely possible that you're kind of stupid.
you
Yeah.
can't even, actually can't even point at women or men. You can't, like, so in your ad copy, you should not be saying, are you a woman who's blah, 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 blah? Are you a mom who's blah, 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 blah? You're not supposed to point out those certain things. That's one area. Obviously there's another areas with, cannabis, alcohol, there's certain things you can't do on Facebook. They won't, that you can't market.
I ran
Um,
into the cannabis thing with my cannabis client, right? We had to
oh yeah.
change some of the names of the group and the pages. Like they wouldn't allow the word cannabis. Hi, cannabis is legal
Hemp, no,
medically,
yep.
or hemp is okay because it's been
They won't let you
descheduled.
use that word on Facebook though either.
Hemp? Oh,
Hmm.
I thought hemp was okay.
Not for
Um,
Facebook ads necessarily.
Interesting.
It will flag it. It will flag it. Now, will it go?
That's so
Here's the thing.
stupid.
Here's the thing. It will get an ad disapproved potentially, but it doesn't mean your account is going to be completely gone. Um, I don't know what makes your account get completely gone. Like that's what nobody knows the reasoning. Somebody was talking about how overusing 5-star emojis could get your account, like with flagging accounts. What? Like
Overusing 5-star
that
emoji.
was some of the talk in the group. There were other things like, well, for instance, the talk was that they were going after people like me that ran agencies for Facebook ads, so that have multiple accounts. One of the things I've been told is if you're not managing that account anymore, like I still have a couple accounts in mind that are past clients, not current clients. We need to get rid of them because,
That
they
makes
could be
sense.
doing something wrong that could flag your account. And I didn't clean up my stuff well enough some of the time. So it could have been something, I know it was something from way past that suddenly set up a flag. Could have been from years ago, but it set up a flag.
So one of your past clients might have done some stuff, and because your account has their stuff in it, even though you're not doing it,
Yep.
right? Oh boy, what a tangled web we weave. My friend Paula Ruffin is a chiropractor, and when the whole COVID thing went down, one of the claims that chiropractors have made long before COVID, right, and even during, is that proper chiropractic visits can increase the effectiveness or the efficacy of your immune system,
Immune. Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So when they were saying that during COVID, they were getting shut down like it was their job. So Paula's going to be very excited to see this particular episode. We'll have at
Very
least one
weird.
watcher.
And that's, yes. So that could be, well, there's multiple places that could be. And even the masks, I believe they were not able, they had a lot of rules with the COVID with ads too, but I don't know exactly what those were. Something about you couldn't market masks through Facebook ads, everything. Like
Wow.
it's been a weird deal. It's been a very weird deal. Yeah, because I really think about it. Have you seen masks being targeted to you in the feed?
Yeah, you know what? And that's really interesting. I have not, I hadn't
Mm-mm.
noticed it, but I haven't seen a darn one, right? And there's PPE stuff everywhere and certainly needed PPE stuff. So I'd see some posts from friends, right?
Yeah, but not
Um,
the ads. Yeah, not the
yeah.
ads. So the ads are, so there's just a couple different things. So let's go back to talking about the whole account being disabled. I'm going to share my screen so you can see my account,
Ooh, fun. I
because
like seeing your account.
I want people to understand this is actually, I'll read it out loud for the people listening. But it says your advertising access is restricted. You're no longer allowed to use Facebook products to advertise. You can't run ads, manage advertising assets, or create new ads or business accounts. So what does that mean exactly? That's me. That's my link to my personal profile. I thought my business manager had issues and just I could have another business manager. With business manager, let me break down how this works. All of us as personal profiles are allowed 2 business managers. Under those business managers, you can have multiple ad accounts. I believe the max is 20. So you can have 20 different ad accounts under each. And so that's like 40 ad accounts you could have. But my entire account, so even if I had a second business manager, I wasn't even allowed to do that. So my Janet Johnson profile, if I go into my Instagram and try to promote something, it's linked to me, my personal profile. I can't boost anything on Instagram because that's my restricted account. So here's the lesson to be learned on this. Always, always have a second admin on your full business manager. Even if it's your husband, wife, I don't care who it is, you always have to have a second. So right now on I have another account now, and it's another business manager account. I have Connie who works for me as a full admin, and I have my husband who has no idea what it even means as a second admin. So,
Perfect.
so
Jeff is on the Facebook. He commented on a post the other day. I remember.
well, yeah, but he knows nothing about business manager and ads side of
That
things.
doesn't
Yes,
matter. He doesn't
yeah,
need to know anything. He
no,
just needs to be on there.
exactly. And I have logged into his account, so that's the key thing too. So bottom line is you got to be able to log into that somebody else's account. Because what happened was I had one client, 2 actually, that I was the full admin. I owned it. And guess what? I can't even go in and edit anything in their account. I can't touch anything in their account because now I can see stuff. The crazy thing is, even if we were spending money, I couldn't even pause an ad. So the money would continue being spending and I couldn't even pause an ad. Isn't that crazy?
That's nuts.
Fortunately, I had backup people. They weren't full admins though. That's what I'm talking about. I gave them like editor level. So they were able to go in. Connie was able to go in and pause an ad and stuff like that because she was second level down. But she was not full admin so that she could actually hand somebody else admin access. Yeah. So one client I had to restart from scratch because of that. And you lose a lot of things when you restart from scratch, like Pixel, when you put a Facebook pixel and collects data, video views, all that kind of stuff, you have to start all over again. It's not fun. So you don't want to have to start all over again.
They're just keeping you down, kid.
Well, you know what? I always overcome no matter what it is. I always will overcome. And I figured it out. Fortunately for me, we do have another profile we set up many, many, many years ago. We moved everything. All my clients moved over to a different business manager account. And we're using that now.
So you had to reload. Well, then give you the opportunity to clean up some of the crap, right? Some of the past stuff. But you had to reload all your current clients, reset them up, rerun all the ads.
No,
How long did that take?
actually, I just had to have them, I had to gain access through my other profile,
Okay.
other than the one client that I didn't
So
have multiple admins. Otherwise, they were the full admin of the account. All my clients, I tell them to be the full admin of the account, add me as a full admin too, because then they've
Got it.
got their 2 people.
So their account stayed their account.
Yeah,
You just need to associate your other profile with it.
exactly.
So you didn't lose anything. You just
Just the
didn't have
one
the
client.
same central dashboard where everything was. Although I suppose now everything's just got the same central dashboard that it was before,
It
just cleaned up.
it does, except I have to log in through the other profiles. So I do all that in Firefox, and then I keep mine in Chrome. So it's more work. It definitely is not fun, but it's happened to so many people. They had a phase right before COVID happened that they went crazy, and nobody knows why, in just disabling accounts. Like, it was happening all over the place. And then it kind of slowed now. And I haven't heard as much of it right lately. But they are big on disapproving ads, happens often. And that's another layer we could talk about, but that's a different thing.
We were talking last year about how 2020 was going to be the year that Facebook ad pricing was going to go up, right? It was going to become super expensive. Gary Vee was talking about, that last year was going to be the end of the reasonably priced Facebook ads. And so I'm thinking about it as a business model, right? If you're telling shareholders the price of poker is going up, and then people start pulling their stuff because it didn't make any sense to advertise in March or April or May because nobody's trying to hear about what your special offer is when they're trying to not die.
Exactly.
I wonder if what the cause and effect or what the correlation of that might be. Do
I
you
think
think there is
I
any?
think there was a lot. Yeah, I think they didn't have time to disable accounts and shut down people. They were, they were like, let's save everybody that we have.
Yeah.
And honestly, that's what they should be doing. I don't know why they treat us this way. Like, I don't understand it, and not even give answers. I did chat with I was able to chat with Facebook people, but what they keep sending me back to is, if you're disapproved, there's a button. I don't know if my button's back. I'm looking. I have a learn more button. Request review. I've done it probably 50 times. It says request review. I'll show you my screen just so you can see. I just did it last week again, just to see if if time goes on, that maybe they'll give it back to me. I'm not sure which policy was violated, and I check mark that and I hit send. I've done that so many times and I get no responses.
They're like, we don't care. Well, here's the crazy part, right? And this is a lesson for all of us. You as a ad creator on the platform are like legitimately the only customer Facebook has. Like, we all, like, as users of the platform, we're confused. We think we're the customer. Bullshit. We're the product. We're the thing that Facebook is selling to people like you because we have eyeballs, and you're actually the one paying the money, right? That's like the revenue stream. As a
Yeah,
user,
that
as
is their
having a
revenue stream.
profile,
Yep.
you're not a customer.
Nope.
You're a product. As an advertiser, that's the customer.
That's their money, period. That's all their money. Yeah.
So it's weird that they'd be messing with their money like that.
It's very strange, and I feel like, and there's a couple things happening right now with Facebook. I don't know the deal because I didn't even want to know, but North Face, have you heard about this? North
No.
Face,
But
big brands right now are
yeah.
pulling their money from Facebook, and for some reason. So Google it if you want to find out. I don't want to find out. It's good news to me. You know why? These big brands pull their money, us little guys and all my clients, it's gonna stay affordable. So
Yeah.
there's some reason behind it, but I don't know. I know North Face is one of them. There's a few big brands that are boycotting using Facebook ads, and I'm not sure the meaning behind it. Don't want to know. Don't want to get into the political side of things. I just know it's a great place to get lead generation for businesses, and make businesses more money and help them. So don't know.
Interesting. Yeah, we'll save the political discourse
Yeah,
for
yeah.
my Facebook wall. You
Exactly. Exactly. That's great. That's great.
it's honestly and sincerely, I don't know your political beliefs, and we've been doing this show for
We don't
five and a
talk
half
about it.
years.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like, I legitimately have no idea who you voted for in 16 or who you'll vote for in 20, and
Honestly, I don't have a lot of political beliefs, so that's probably why we never talk
that could
about it.
be.
I'm not real strong any direction. I just want the world to be a better place at this point.
I saw
know?
you post about what was going on in Minneapolis, right?
Yep.
And then you made a comment that you don't post about anything political very often. And I was
Nope.
like, yeah,
And it
right,
actually wasn't even
right.
really political. It was just
No,
our city was
your
being
city
torn
was
apart.
burning down.
Exactly.
That wasn't political. It was sad. Is it better? It's like
Yeah,
it.
but there's just been lots of killings around here.
Okay.
I don't know, shootings, like crazy. Chicago, Minneapolis, yeah. So people are scared, yeah, but not where I live.
Yeah, not
All
in
I see is
Farmington.
farmland.
Yeah, it's no.
And people are moving, like people want to live where we live now because they want to get out of the city. So it's good for the builders putting up homes in the area,
Yeah, there's that. There's that.
So let's go to the next layer. I want to talk just about ads being disapproved, just because they've changed that a little bit, and they just changed it in June. So when you're listening to this, it might be probably July-ish, but and you could be listening to, way down the road too. But bottom line is, ads get disapproved often. I work with a mortgage company. If we mention money, like we tried asking a question. Our question that we asked was something about financing, like, do you have somebody, I don't know something about even if you want to ask what type of home do you want to buy, like how much money are you looking to spend? You can't ask that. You can't ask anything about personal finances. And so the ad got disapproved, for instance. And then if you use the word, I told you about the word you already. If you use that word too much, it will get your ad disapproved. And like this was strange because we ran ads and I got this client so many leads for about 2 months. And then they wanted to test new videos. So we decided to do another launch of more videos and see how those ads went. And it got denied, disapproved. And they put a big red, like it's, and it says disapproved. And in the past, guess what? They would not tell us why. We had to guess. Is it the text? Is it the image? Is it the video? Is it the landing page? What are we doing wrong here? We have no idea. Like, they don't tell you. They just say rejected. So it's nice to have a pro like me working with you because I'll figure it out because I know a lot of the rules, But the bottom line is, I ended up, in June, we got these new ads disapproved, and they gave me a reason. I was shocked. So it actually said, and I can pull that one up for you guys if you're watching by chance, but it says ad can't run, text doesn't comply. And it actually has the sentence. And I still don't even understand why that sentence. They're saying it has personal
We are
attributes.
here to help you we are here to help with your mortgage needs. That's the sentence.
And it says there's personal attributes in it.
Because the word your?
I guess so.
Or
See,
needs?
it
or
says
more?
it includes direct or indirect assertions of implications of a person's race, ethnic origin, religion, beliefs, age, sexual practice. I'm like, what? Financial status? So it's probably financial status because of the word mortgage. Weird, huh?
That's goofy. I mean, like, legitimately goofy.
Now add a layer to it. It wasn't in the text. Okay? So I'm reading the text going, where is this? It's not in the text. I don't see it. So I couldn't find it. Well, this was a lead ad where we have a lead pop-up form. It was in the lead pop-up form, buried. So it took me a while. But what happened was even the ad that ran for 2 months had gone through, but then that was disapproved too all of a sudden because that had this wording in it. Crazy. So long story short, if your ad's disapproved, you just got to do some digging and change it and then relaunch it. And it happens every time with the mortgage client. Almost every time we change something, it gets disapproved. And then we have to redo it and figure it out. Now, it doesn't mean the account got disabled. If you get too much of this disapproval, though, your account could get disabled, meaning not as deeply as what we were talking about in the first place, but meaning the ad account itself just gets shut down. So just be careful. So here's my, so be careful. Here's the things. If you are running ads on Facebook without a professional helping you, number one, when you set it up, make sure you have more than one admin. Okay. 2, 3, I'd say 3 just to be on the safe side. Have 3 full admin accesses, not just there's lower levels, but I'm talking full admin. So you got to have the word admin. And then secondly, go to the privacy policy with Facebook, or the policies, and know the rules that they have. You need to know the rules because that's your best bet for getting ads through. Now, there's certain companies that have more issues than others, but bottom line is it's not as crazy. We're talking the bad stuff today. I mean, I get ads going through, I do ads, launch ads probably every day of my life, and I get them going through easily. It's just certain types of companies will get hit harder than others. And if your ad account gets shut down, completely like what mine did, you just need to beg and plead and be as nice as possible.
I think that's good customer service anyway, and any customer conflict resolution. Just be nice.
Yep. They're just working there. Be as nice as possible. There are things you can say, you know, like you didn't know what you did wrong. You promised to never do it again. Those are the types of things that you want to say. And just, you know, please, you know, can you give me the account back? You know, and I know people that are in my situation that actually have gotten it back. So it's not, I haven't worked on it as hard as I could have because I figured out another situation. So, you know, you can maybe get it back. So that's the advice. That's the advice. And I hope it doesn't happen to you. I guess let's put it that way.
Oh man. So what a pain, right? So let's start with what a pain, but it sounds like you were resourceful enough to not let it be too big of an issue. Was it just a random account? How did you happen to have another one?
Shh.
Oh.
We're not supposed to have it.
Yeah. Okay.
No.
My bad.
Actually, Katie and I had done it for testing. My friend Katie England had done it years and years ago, 10 years plus ago. The thing is, if you go try to set up a new one, personal profile, and you don't, like, you're not supposed to have that. So bottom line, the likelihood, mine had some, what do you call it? It had been used, like it had time on Facebook, and it had been, you know, whereas if you go try to set it up new today, set up business manager, blah, 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 you'll probably be shut down in a heartbeat. So don't just go set up a new profile. And I've told people, like one of my clients set up a company business profile, like personal profile, but in their company name. Eventually that will be shut down. So you can't do a personal profile in a business name. You should not be doing that. Personal profiles are personal profiles, businesses are businesses.
Okay.
That makes sense. So if you have a brand new personal profile and you try to set up all these ads in Business Manager, you're probably it's not gonna work. That's why you want the backup admins, real people, husbands, wives, doesn't matter. Have those backup admins, and then you're good to go.
You know, my friend Brenda Meller, who's been on the show before, had just posted the whole idea of having that backup admin just like last week as a Facebook update, because I guess it becomes a real issue if you don't do it. So yeah, and it's pretty easy to do, right? All you have to do is go in and assign somebody. It's not too terribly tough, right?
Business manager is not fun. Let's put it that way. Yeah, on your business page, it's super easy, but that's a separate thing than your ad account. So business manager is a whole, like, I can't go into it right now, but it is a whole, every new client that I have, I do a Zoom call with, and I walk them through step by step on how to do all this, because otherwise trying to explain it doesn't work. So business manager is complicated. It's not as easy as like what you're talking. I mean, you got to have a backup on the business manager. You've got to have a backup on the ad accounts, on the pages. Like, there's many layers there. So I can't say it's easy at all. But I guess if you know what you're doing with business manager, yes, you know how to add an admin. I know. Terry is a dog. It's fine. I have a cat typically, so.
I don't remember your cat being this loud, but I don't remember my dog showing his butt to the audience.
Exactly,
So,
but the butt.
which is better? I don't really know. That's interesting. He wanted to emphasize the difficulty of business manager is what that really was.
Exactly.
Piling on. Well, that's pretty crazy. And I think there's some good value in this show. I think there's like, it's almost like a lesson on what not to do. But the challenge is we still don't really even know what you actually did. And that's the part that sucks. So like, it would be nice if you could say, you know what, I did this and here was the cause and this was the effect and I got shut down for 3 days or whatever the case may be.
I actually asked the question. I go, can you at least tell me? Because I saw it come up in the chat response, like originally. And when it came up, they're like, nope, we reviewed it again and you broke the rules and we can't do it. We can't give it back. That was their answer. And I said, can you at least tell me what I did? They shut down the whole chat before I got an answer. That was it.
Wow. That is Gestapo-esque. Not a fan.
It's crazy. Yeah, it is crazy. There is a side to Facebook. Yes, their customer service is, yeah, to be had. Yeah, I mean, you know, you got to deal with it. I mean, that's the problem. You know, I don't have a choice. It's my livelihood, you know, so at this point, we've just got to, you know, do our best we can to get around everything and figure it out.
They're too big for their britches, Janet E. Johnson.
I know, aren't they? Well, we'll see. We'll see. I hope they last. I mean, eventually someday we'll all have to, there will be other things that people will be, but right now it's still the best it is. I mean, it's still the best lead generation. It just is.
Well, good to know. Well, so like one tip, is it go figure out how to add the admin? What would you make sure?
Yeah, learn business manager. First off, you got to set up a business manager. Just Google it. Set up business manager. Set it up. You got to move your personal ad account. Terry, you've probably not done this before. Move your personal ad account in there. You have to pull it in manually. But you can't run ad. You can't actually, they want everybody to use business manager now. So, but originally our ad accounts were in their personal set. You know, we didn't have business manager years ago. So there was no such thing. So get a business manager set up, and then in there, you can add people. There's a plus, add people. And when you add those people, add them as a full, you know, admin. So it's kind of easy, but there's multiple steps to it. But, you know, if you play around with it, you can Google it, figure it out. I mean, I walk through every piece of business manager in my training program. But, you know, that's adsroiacademy.com if you want to check that out. And that's a whole thing on learning ads. That is, we do deep into business manager there too. But bottom line is, get the admins and know the rules. Those are my 2 tips.
How often do those rules change, Janet E. Johnson?
I would check them on a monthly basis. Like the COVID stuff I was telling you about, that's, you know, all in there now too, you know? So I would say, you know, if you kind of know the rules, quarterly, you know, check them, but
because they update, they change, they do different things, right? Yeah, because they're like that, because they can.
And if you have the money, hire a professional to help you, because honestly, it's become more complicated than you think.
Would you be a professional?
It's me, whoever. I don't care if it's me or somebody else, but the bottom line is, you know, if you can get the help, even if it's a consulting thing or somebody, you know, on the side that knows more of what they're doing, you know, I think it's beneficial. And there's many groups and there's different, you know, support systems that you could have for for the ad side of things, but just some place where you can go ask questions, because you're not going to be able to ask Facebook the questions because they don't answer.
They ain't telling you shit.
Yeah,
All right. Well,
exactly.
interesting episode. Very interesting indeed. I think this was kind of neat. I don't know that I have a business manager. I don't think I do, because I don't remember setting it up. I know that there's like a little ads manager dashboardy thing, but I think, to your point, I think that's the personal one. I don't think that's, or
No,
I mean,
you
it's
never
tied
moved
to
it
my
in.
page, right? But it's not yeah, it's not anything that I've ever really played with. I've run, I've boosted posts. I don't even think
Yeah,
I've
you
ever
can still
run
do that through
ads.
your personal. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. So it's not necessary. I used to say it's not necessary to have a business manager unless you have multiple accounts like me who runs different, but now they forced it. So if you want to upload an email list or phone numbers or anything like that and run ads to those, you can't do it without a being in business manager. So it's they really want everybody to move to business manager. It's nice because it's a separate entity from your Facebook, so you don't go down that squirrel rabbit hole, of all of a sudden seeing your friend stuff, because it's completely separate. So it's kind of nice that way.
Oh, that happens to other people. That's not just me.
It used to happen to me all the time, but nowadays I'm like, I don't even have to log into Facebook. I just go right into business manager.
Oh, that's actually, is that why you do it in Firefox as opposed to Chrome?
No, just because that's another account.
Okay,
I
gotcha.
have two
Yeah.
accounts.
Quit saying that. All right. Well, good times. Come
All
back.
right.
Check us out. If you haven't, you can go to businessgrowthtime.com, see all the past episodes. If you like this show or this episode, it would be great if you'd throw up a review on iTunes or Stitcher or Spotify, wherever you get your podcast tunage. Leave us a comment on the YouTube if you're there. We'd appreciate it. And if you want to join our community, head over to businessgrowthtime.xyz. That's where our Facebook group lives. I don't normally do the pitch. That's a Janet thing, but I
He
just
knows
jumped
it.
all over it today. You
He
didn't know I
does.
did you? You had
Well,
no
you've heard,
idea.
I don't know, we're at like 150 shows now. So.
You were nervous, though, when you heard me start it, weren't you? You're like, he's going to screw this up. So I
You
got
did
it.
better than me, because I forget the XYZ thing all the time.
True fact.
Awesome. Thank you guys for joining us, and go set up that business manager. Talk to you soon.
See ya.